At 16 was my first time in prison. I was scared. I went to prison for attempt murder on Robert. And they transferred me from juvenile prison to adult prison.
At 16?
Yeah.
Your first night?
Yep, I was in the holding cell the first night.
Ooh.
And man, I was petrified, man. The reason why people are scared of the stock market, the reason why most of us are scared to invest is because we fear the idea of losing money. We fear the idea of not having enough money. And that stems from us seeing our parents, grandparents, neighbors, aunties, their response to money. It took us 2 years to get here, but here we are now. And immediately, what you have done with your kids, if you showed them the art of saving, investing, sacrificing. Now you grew up with kids that's like, yo, I don't got to show y'all nothing. I watched my mama change my life in front of my face.
Hey, family, welcome to the Jamal Bryant Podcast. Let's be clear. I am super excited because today I got a real one. I need you to pull out a pen, a pad. If you got an iPhone or an Android, go to the note-taking section because we have gone from the street corner to the sanctuary. I got nobody in the building but the WallStreet Trapper.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you. Church is getting ready to be let out. Meet me in the fellowship hall. We can't even do this in the sanctuary. Brother, thank you for hanging out with me today.
Such an honor to be here, man. Such an honor.
Let me tell you this. My first time hearing you was at Good Soil.
Oh, yeah.
For Bishop Jakes.
Oh, yeah.
And the lady asked one question. Where'd you get the money to start? That was the end of it. It was a mic drop right there. That was the end of the whole thing.
Start where you can, Queen.
This is an amazing, transparent brother who really speaks from the heart for people who are serious about improving and impacting their lives. And I am just so grateful that you are lending your gift and your expertise and your insight to me and to my audience. I want to jump right in. A lot of people were upset about Snoop Dogg performing at the inauguration. Mm-hmm. And one of his guys explained, hey, he wasn't even there for Donald Trump. He was there for the guy who introduced him to crypto. Mm-hmm. And the guy who introduced him to crypto is the one who had, drum roll, the crypto ball. Mm-hmm. A lot of black people have no idea where crypto is, what it means, what's the impact. As a WallStreet Trapper, do black people need to get on board or they need to jump off the train? Before you answer that, I'm not excusing Snoop for performing at the ball.
Yeah.
I was just giving that as a prelude.
Yeah.
That's why he went. Now back to business. Yes.
Yeah. You got to give context.
Got to give
nowadays
context
about how you feel about things. I think just from when it comes to wealth game in general, we need to be on board. Crypto is an asset class that is undeniably lucrative.
Yeah.
Right. I am heavy stock market man because I truly believe that ownership in assets is the way to wealth. I think that we should all be in the growth of America. Right. And so the businesses that build and grow and push America forward, we should own them. Yeah. But when it comes to crypto, you cannot deny the power of that asset class. It's not a trend. But I stick to the basics when it comes to crypto. I own Bitcoin, I own Ethereum, because those are great utilities. Yeah. Those have great power. But there's people that know way more than me in the crypto space, but I'm not a meme coin person. Yeah. You know, I'm not a Dogecoin person. I stick to what I know is really, really solid, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think we all should own that.
No, that's
for sure.
A lot of people are really missing what is taking place. Anxiety, stress, worry, sleeplessness is hitting people about the Trump administration. Mm-hmm. And what I have been really clamoring the black-white issue of smoke and mirrors is really about money.
Oh,
yeah, the poor are going to be left behind no matter what race you are.
So I have a saying that classism supersedes it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so while racism does exist, it is in a fabric of what America is built on. But classism is the underlying issue. And I think that we, as Black people in America, for sure, have been left out of the wealth game in general. So when you say people are having sleepless nights, when you say they are, it's that financial trauma that I always speak on, because we haven't been equipped with the tools to be financially privy on how to attain assets and how to attain wealth, right? The thing that we are accustomed to is working for money, selling all of our time for money.
Wow.
Right? And then having more month left than money. And so it's this 3-part process where poor people live check to check, rich people live year to year, and then wealthy people live generation to generation.
Ooh.
Right?
You said that too fast. Say it again. Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Yep. So you have poor people living check to check.
Yeah.
You have rich people living year to year. And then you have wealthy people living generation to generation. And so we never can even get to the year to year part because we have poor financial hygiene.
What is that? What is that?
So it's the way that we look at money, the way that we use money, and then the way that we see money. Right? So in the way that we feel about money. So the reason why people are scared of the stock market, the reason why most of us are scared to invest is because we fear the idea of losing money. We fear the idea of not having enough money. And that stems from us seeing our parents, grandparents, neighbors, aunties, their response to money. I remember as a kid, I knew not to ask my grandmother for stuff during certain times. The number one times was like during the first of the month.
Right.
She just had an attitude, right? And it's because it's bill time, right? And you're navigating how to take a little bit of this to pay a lot of that, and a little bit of this to pay some of that to keep this, because at this time bill collectors used to come to the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They used to come knock on the door. And it's don't answer the door. You're looking out the blind. Tell them I ain't home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was that type of situation. And so that was stressful. And it was so stressful where you get to a point where if you go to the store to first, and don't ask me for nothing when you go in this store.
Right.
Don't ask me for nothing. Stay right here. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I just want a Snicker. You know, I just want a cold drink or a juice or some chips. It's 50 cents. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is, and so we've passed that trauma on. And so that allows us to have poor financial hygiene. So when you look at money a certain way, and then when you feel it, now it causes you to behave a certain way around money. And so because we never break that, we have that bad financial hygiene, which means now we don't even use money correctly. We over leverage ourselves, and then we start buying things, not that it helps us, but it makes us feel good. The things that we buy let off our endorphin that now helps us get away from where we truly are. And we start saying things like, I deserve this vacation, but you can't afford it.
Yeah.
I deserve this bag. I deserve these new shoes, but you can't afford it. But you need something that breaks you away from how bad you're really doing.
Yeah.
Right? So we have poor financial hygiene. And so even when it comes to things about the stock market, it's all you hear is, it's crashing, it's going to crash. That ain't for us. That's for them white folks.
Right.
That's for them rich folks.
Right.
And so that is a part of bad financial hygiene. And there's no way that we can actually shift tax brackets if we don't invest. It's no way possible. Right? And so we have to learn to play that game. And I remember I was in prison, which is where I learned about the stock market. And the guy told me, he said, you buy stocks because it's the fastest way to build wealth. You start a business because America awards you for bringing something to the marketplace. And you buy a real estate because it helps you bring your taxes down. And if you learn those three things, you can make more money than you ever had in your life. And so that has been where I've been at over the last 10 years, 11 years, just focusing on playing that game the right way and then helping us break those financial habits, increase our financial hygiene so that we could turn our last name to an asset.
Yeah. A lot of people surrender and wave the white flag prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a crash masterclass for 50,000 Black people who getting ready to lose their government jobs.
Oh, man.
Who 45 days ago did
Yeah.
not see this coming.
Yeah.
Were quite comfortable and were just going to skate until retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Now their DEI positions are closed.
Mm-hmm.
Departments are gone.
Mm-hmm.
The president has given them a let's make a deal letter, buy out or take a gamble on bid whisk and go another round.
Yeah.
So you're having a generation who will either be government dependent or be entrepreneurs before Easter. What would you say to them?
So the one thing I will say is, if you allow them to feed you, you give them permission to starve you.
Wait.
And so we learned that, if nothing else, what we've learned during the pandemic was that it is imperative that you take your financial livelihood in your own hands. And so while there's empathy for people that will go through that, we learned a lot during COVID. We learned that no job is safe.
That's right.
No job is secure, right? If you're making six figures, whatever it is, you still need to put yourself in a position where you have another stream of income that can help you be sustained.
Yeah.
And so for those people, my next thing is don't panic. What I've learned about living in this world is you cannot make emotional correct decisions in panic. I mean, financial correct decisions when you're emotional.
Yeah.
And so it would be, okay, how do I prepare? And I think for me, one of those things is, again, entrepreneurship is cool, but it's not for everybody. What I love about investing in the market is no matter what's your race, background, you can do it.
That's great.
It doesn't discriminate on credit. It doesn't discriminate on anything. One of the things I take pride in, and it's not to boast or brag, but last year we made 6 people millionaires from investing in the market.
Wow.
6 people, man. And
how old was the oldest one?
The oldest was a guy who, I want to say he was in his late 50s. He had, and this was his story. He said, Trap, man, and I had did an in-person event. He came to me, he said, man, it took me 33 years to retire with $300,000. In 1 year with you, I've turned 300,000 to 1.3 million.
Good grief.
He said, and now I'm excited.
No, that's great.
But I'm kicking myself because I'm asking myself, why did it take me 33 years?
It's never too late.
Right? And that was my response. I was like, well, it's never too late. And for me, it's no matter who you are, the market is designed for us to win.
That's right. That's right.
It's designed.
Yeah.
When we see billionaires in America increasing their wealth by $21 billion in a day, they didn't go out and do anything in their business that day.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you see Elon Musk increase his wealth by 40 billion in one day, he didn't go create enough Teslas to sell that day.
Right.
The stock went up that much that day.
Gee whiz.
Right? When we look at companies become trillion-dollar companies, those companies are performing, but the stock performance has done extremely well that year.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing to us is always, if we're going to be consumers in America, we may as also be owners.
That's right.
Of America.
Yeah.
And so when we look at the top 10 richest people in the world, 8 of them are American brands. 2 of them, one is an oil company that's not public. The other is Bernard Arnault, who is the biggest brand in Europe, which is Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy.
Yeah.
And so that tells us that 9 of the 10 wealthiest people in the world have companies on the stock market. Why will we not be there?
Yeah.
Why would we look at that and think that that game is for them and not us? If the richest man in the world is Elon Musk, and for me, I take my feelings out of finances.
Yeah.
Right? You see what he's doing with America. You see what he's doing with Tesla. You see how he's positioning himself. Why not own that Tesla stock? If the next richest man in the world, if Jeff Bezos, and you see he's still on a board of directors at Amazon as the chairman, everybody, 1 in every 3 people have an Amazon account.
That's right.
It is a company that is truly positioning itself. I feel is the most powerful company in America. Everybody has Amazon Prime.
You said 1 in 3.
Yeah, 1 in 3 people in America have an Amazon account.
Pause right here. If 1 in 3 Americans have Amazon, for them to be that emboldened to strip DEI.
Come on.
When Black, brown, Asian people are really the lifeblood.
100%.
Is economic arrogance at a whole nother
100%. 100%. And so what we do is, and this is about to make a lot of your audience mad. The reason why we don't have a voice is because we don't got no money.
Ooh.
We don't got no money. We don't got no money. So they don't got to respect you.
Yeah.
But when you as a collective understand the power of your money, as a collective, when you say, you know what, bet you, and I promise you that, oh, you want to cancel DEI? Okay, bet. Everybody, let's sell all this Amazon stock we got.
Yes.
Wait a minute, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Mark Zuckerberg, you want to do that? Hey, we putting puts on Facebook stock and we going to sell it. Wait a minute. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because what wealthy people do is they do this amazing thing called lobbying. And lobbying is simply saying, you know what, I'm going to let y'all do the politics, but guess what? Here's the money we have to go against or go away. This bill doesn't benefit us, so let's go rock with somebody who is going to benefit us, and let's put the money over here because, yes, racism is at the forefront. Classism is the fabric. Money is the thing that makes America move. And the greatest asset in America is the people. Now, what happens is the people with the most money got the biggest voice. Black people ain't got no money. We ain't got no voice.
No.
So you're going to keep doing stuff and you like, why y'all playing in my face? They playing in our face like that. We keep letting them play in our face like that. Let's get some money. Let's get some money as a collective.
Yeah.
And let's start doing things like, hey, let's all come together and say, hey, we're going to drive this stock down. We're going to drive that stock down. Because now those billionaires, guess what happens? When they start losing $50 billion in a day because that stock done dropped, hey, let's talk about it. Who is responsible for this? Oh, yeah, the Black community. Hey, let's go talk to them right quick.
No, it makes.
Let's go talk to them right quick.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
The Montgomery bus boycott.
It showed you right then and there.
Broke an entire city's economy.
18 months.
Y'all, don't get it twisted. Not from Dr. King's speeches. When they stopped paying that bus fare.
Money.
It shifted everything.
Money. We keep trying to get fair from a country that ain't never been fair.
No.
We keep saying what's supposed to be. It ain't never been. The only way that you gonna get acknowledged is you gotta mess with their money.
Yeah.
It's what they know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what they understand.
A lot of people who are recalibrating their lives, quite honestly, they know that they are drowning, know that they don't have a life vest on.
Yes.
But they hear but feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
Because of the financial trauma.
Yes.
Like, this is too much for me to grasp. It's too much for me to understand. I'm going to do the lost episode of Smarter Than a Fifth Grader.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Let's go.
So those who are pulling up to the place say, hey, man, say it to me slow.
Yeah.
How do I get this party started right?
Yeah. That's good. So one of the things that I would love for us to do as a people is invest. because it's truly it's the gateway. One of the things we can do is let's just open up a brokerage account, which is Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade. I don't like it, but Robinhood, right? Let's start there. And listen, people, put your social security number in there, right? They're not gonna scam you, right? We think everything is scam,
right?
You got to put your social security number in there, right? That's the only, because you got to pay taxes on the gain,
right?
And then the next thing I would say to do is we talking to two classes of people right here. We're about to talk to one class of people that has income, and we talking to another class of people that potentially could be losing their income. For that class of people, my biggest thing is let's put some parameters on where our finances are in the moment, which is, okay, here's what it costs me to live. What is the safety net that I have?
Yeah.
That's doing a financial reality check. Right. And once we do that financial reality check, now we can understand where we got to supplement at. The worst thing we can do is panic and think the roof is falling out, and then that puts us in a worse situation.
Yeah.
Once we understand that, now we got to ask ourselves, okay, what are some of the things momentarily that I'd have to cut? What are they? Hands down, you got to be willing to be uncomfortable for a little while because you're in a restructuring phase.
Yeah.
Right. You don't know what this looks like, and that's okay. Right. And the next thing we got to do now is make a bold decision on where do we go at. I don't even want you to focus on investing right now. I need you to supplement that income.
Wow.
I don't want you to focus on it, because now I can be making you put money in the market, and that's money you need to survive. And here's what's going to happen. If you're putting money in the market while you need money to survive, when things get real, you're going to take the money out the market.
That's right.
Now you're paying taxes on that if it made some gains.
Yep.
Instead, just say, no, let me put that on the side so I can find ways to supplement my income. Right. And then once we get the income going, now we go back to the market and say, okay, what's the skill set I need to learn? And you can be learning while you're looking for a job.
No, that's wise.
You know what I'm saying?
That's wise.
Yeah, let's learn. Like, we be trying to go all in on the market when we need that money to survive right now.
My dad gave me something that really helped and changed the trajectory of my life. He told me to get a notepad and write down everything that I buy in a week.
Yes.
At the end of the week, look at it.
Yes.
And see, ask yourself, were you a steward?
Financially ready, check.
Or are you a candidate for poverty?
Yes, sir.
And our spending is really what brings us down. I resolved, Trap Dad, a lot of us like to look wealthy.
100%.
But are not really invested in being wealthy.
That's the financial hygiene.
Whoo!
That's the poor financial hygiene.
Wow.
That's the poor financial hygiene. I'm going to tell you what was real. Something happened to me this other day. I went to so I spoke to I do great at speaking, and I spoke to the Kansas City Chiefs. I was so blessed to get that engagement. Did so well. They blessed me again this year twice.
Nice.
They booked me twice for the rookies and for the whole team. But they gave me, I was in a suite just past Sunday for the Chiefs Buffalo game.
Nice.
They invited me. I'm in a suite, and I'm in a suite with two billionaires. And I kid you not, man. And I say this not as a comparison, but as a reality check. Man, I saw Hoka tennis shoes.
Right, no Gucci belts.
And listen, I'm a
Levi's.
fly guy.
Yeah.
I call myself a fly guy,
Yeah.
right? I will go in the Tom Ford store and have a blast. Got a closet full of Tom Ford.
Yeah.
But when I went in that room, I saw Hoka shoes. I saw Levi's. I saw Fossil watches. I saw Kansas City shirts.
Right.
And mind you, I'm talking to one of the guys, and he came up to me and said, hey, man, I heard you're real good with Bino. And Bino is the guy who brought me in to speak. It's my guy. He works with developing the new athletes at Kansas City. He was like, yeah, man, he talked a lot about you. He was like, look, I'm going to introduce you to my guy right here. He just sold his business for $1 billion.
Woo.
He said, I just sold my business for $1 billion. And this guy right here, he just sold his business for, I think it was $700 million. We all in here, man. We great to have you. He said, and in a minute, the family that owns Black Cat Fireworks. I said, huh? I've been popping them since a kid.
Right.
He said, yeah, man, they about to come up. They our new partners in this business, and I want you to meet them. And bro, I'm just sitting there, and I was just like, this is crazy. And the first thing I did was I looked at the spot, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. All I saw was the Hoka shoes and the.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. And again, it's just a football game. It is what it is. But, we go to football. We go somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought about that, and I was like, this is, and I was looking at the kids because they had their kids and and it was just a different environment for me. I'm from the hood, man. I'm from the gut. I'm from the street. So I'm just like, damn, okay. These are situations that I need to see because there's a difference, like you said, between actually looking wealthy,
yes,
and being it.
Yes.
You run across any one of them people in the streets, you would never know they sold their business for $1 billion, and 750 million. And this is the owner of the Black Cat Firework family. And I'm in the room with them. And so it's a thing for us about the poor financial hygiene. Now, I will say this. I'm not a huge fan of living below your means.
Me neither.
I've been poor my whole life. I know what that feels. I don't need to live below nothing.
Right.
But I'm also an advocate for not living above your means.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because what we have to get out of is proving to someone or people that we're on or that we are financially a certain way. We have to get out of that, but that's the financial trauma.
What do you think is the evidence of a poor or a poverty mindset?
One of those ways is Christmas time, buying gifts that set you back. Christmas time. What do you do for Christmas?
Man, come back here in November. It's too late now. We all facing American Express bills now.
Right on.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
I own American Express as a stock. It's one of the staple stocks in my investment account. Over 1,000 shares.
Wow.
AXP.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I own that.
Yeah.
I trade options on that. And so as well. And why do I say that? Is because it's easy to check yourself. Okay, what do I do for Christmas? Do I say things like, watch this. As long as my kids are right, I'm good. If I say that for Christmas, and that means I'm now okaying that I'm going to spend money that I don't have so that my kids can have a great Christmas, that is poor financial hygiene. That is horrible. You know why? Because now we are also passing that same mindset and mentality down to our kids. Instead of having the right conversation saying, hey, check this out. Listen, this Christmas, it ain't going to be like it was.
Yeah.
But here's why. We going to get ourselves, and you show them what life looks like if we get financially right.
Yeah.
Right? Here's what life can look like. We can have a new house. We can have this. We can have this. We can have this. Do you like this? Because if you paint the picture, kids going to rock out.
That's
if
right.
you paint the picture to them, and you say, guess what? This Christmas, we just going to love on each other.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, what we might do this Christmas, we might go feed the homeless, because what I'm going to show you is, or we're less fortunate, is because what we got to show you is that even though we don't have everything we want, there are people in worse situations than us. So we got to be blessed with what we have. I've done it with my child.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you say, but what we going to do is this Christmas, we going to save. And you bring your kids on a journey with you as you are correcting your financial habits.
That's beautiful.
And so now what you're doing, you're teaching them and showing them. You're not saying, do what I say, not what I do. I'm showing you how we improve our financial standpoint. I'm showing you how we go from check to check.
Yep.
I'm showing you how we improve our financial hygiene. I'm showing you how we heal our financial trauma. And then the end result of you showing them that is that now when you get in a better situation, you now reflect them and say, hey, check this out. You remember the sacrifices we made?
Wow.
This is Christmas now.
Yeah.
This is now.
Yes.
This is now. It took us
Yes.
2 years to get here, but here we are now. And
Yes.
immediately, what you have done with your kids, if you showed them the art of saving, investing, sacrificing. Now you grow up with kids that's like, yo, I don't got to show y'all nothing. I watched my mama change my life in front of my face.
That's crazy. I think the impediment trap that hits us probably starts in around 7th grade
Mm-hmm.
with a catchphrase they say in black schools, but not in white schools. Here it is. Dress for success.
Mm.
So we have made success synonymous with wardrobe.
Well, look. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And
So
then
good.
we underscore it by making a dress minimum for church. That in order for you to show God your best,
Come on.
then go broke for Easter for new
Come
clothes.
on.
Yeah, put on your best for church
Sunday
anniversary.
best.
So I will put more focus on that I could have been snorting cocaine this week, in the casino this week, beat my wife this week. But if I look good with a 3-piece suit on,
I'm all right.
then it looks like I'm honoring God,
Wow.
not with my giving, but with my looking.
Wow.
Because we have made appearance sanctification. So if you go to graduations of 8th grade, high school, this is in black context, then they tell you, hey, make sure, here it is, you may identify, make sure you dress right when you go see the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, your suit ain't going to change your sentence. It's not going to change the sentence. We need to have your mind dressed.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
This is gonna be so good, right? It's about to be so, and I'm about to lay on that as well. So I did 10 years in prison. I came home in 2007. In 2009, I caught another charge.
While in prison?
No, when I came home in 2007.
Yes.
I was home for 18 months. I caught another charge, and then early 2010, I caught another charge. So I'm fighting 2 charges back to back. My lawyer was John Fuller. He's transitioned from being just my brother, to a lawyer, to now being like a brother to me. So we beat those charges, we get found out guilty. So I remember I went to court the first day, man, and I had these Louis Vuitton shoes on. I had this, this Armani. I was nice. And he said, hey, come here. Don't never come back in here like that no more. I said, what you talking about? I look nice. He said, you look like a drug dealer.
Wow.
That's what you look like. You look like a drug dealer. You look like a drug dealer. You look like a drug dealer. You got on Louis Vuitton shoes. You got on these Louis Vuitton glasses. You got this Armani suit on with these different fabrics. You look like a drug dealer. Do you want to be found innocent? He said, because you not realizing that your look is everything that this judge, and so don't do that no more.
Good grief.
So I came back to court the next time I went to like H&M or something.
Yeah.
He was like, that's perfect. That's perfect. This is what regular, normal, everyday people wear.
Yeah.
This is what they wear.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, you're not a lawyer. You're not a lawyer. Right? You are, think about this. He said, you went to prison for 10 years. You've been home 18 months, and you're fighting a drug charge and a gun charge, and you come in here looking like that. How can I not think you a drug dealer?
That's heavy. That's heavy. I ask all of my guests a question I got to ask you. Tell me about the first night you spent in jail.
At 16 was my first time in prison. I was scared. I went to prison for attempted murder on robbery. And they transferred me from juvenile prison to adult prison.
At 16?
Yeah.
Your first night?
Yep. I was in a holding cell the first night.
Ooh.
And man, I was petrified, man. Because in New Orleans, you hear, I went to this jail called the Old Parish Prison. And at the time, it was considered worse than Angola. And it was a parish prison. And, and it's not to make myself sound like a tough guy, nothing like that. When I was in the streets, I grew up in the streets. I saw my mama get shot when I was 9. My mama didn't die. saw my mama do stuff, and then I did things in the streets. So I was cool with using a gun.
Mm-hmm.
It was the regulator. It was
Right.
it's what we do. And it wasn't even just me, it was the environment.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like if you see a lion go kill a zebra, like people who looking at it may be appalled by it. But the animals in the kingdom understand this is a natural part of what gotta go on here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The animals ain't tripping.
Right.
They like, dang, that go over here. Yo, they eating.
Yeah.
And so it was a custom. And so when I went to prison, I was like, oh, ain't no guns in here. You know what I'm saying? It's bare knuckles in here. All right, bet. I gotta throw them. And so, you hear the bars clanking, boom, boom. You hear all that stuff, man. And you playing these mental games in your head.
Yeah.
On what's not gonna happen, which you're not about to let happen. You know what I'm saying? What you're not about to let happen. What you gonna do? What you willing to die for? You know what I'm saying? And so it was a petrifying night, not because it was petrifying, but because of everything that was in my brain.
I went to jail one time.
Yeah.
I was a student here at Morehouse.
Come on, man.
I had, you remember when the wall came down, the Berlin Wall?
Yep.
So next door to me were people from Berlin. The wall came down and they flew back home. So they said, we want to sell you our Mercedes. So I'm a college student. They leaving the country the next day.
Yeah.
They give it to me for close to nothing.
Yeah.
So 3 days later, I'm driving around in Atlanta. Police roll that siren.
Yeah.
Me over, ask for registration. I pull out the registration. It's Yukolov's registration. It don't match me.
Ain't nothing Yukolov about you.
Ain't nothing Yukolov about me. So I was like, oh no, my next door neighbor, get him on the phone. Yukolov is gone.
They gone.
They put me in jail, true story. They put me in jail. I'm in a full-length Sherlin. I'm in central booking. We all in one main room. I'm scared to death.
Yeah.
I'm not no street guy. I'm pretending to be.
Yeah.
The police, maybe about 3 hours later, come to the hall where everybody is. Says, Jamal Bryant in here? I say, yeah, it's me. I'm thinking I'm getting bailed out.
Yeah.
Says, yeah, it's me. I'm gathering my stuff.
Yeah.
They said, we just want you to know we got your Mercedes in impound. So everybody in the like, your Mercedes?
Yeah.
So the guys walk up to me, just like, where you from? I said, I'm from Baltimore. So they make up in their mind that I'm a drug dealer.
Of course.
Trap, Father, forgive me. I went into full character. Trap, the whole weekend, you couldn't tell me. They're like, people coming up to me asking for jobs when they come out. Yeah. They like, man, listen, I'm going to be a faithful worker. I'm good. I'm like, man, just see me when you get out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of you.
You trying to survive.
I was trying to survive.
Yeah.
I promise God. I promise God. I don't know what oath you made in jail. The oath I made was to make sure my tags were always right. Make sure I had the right sticker. That was the only thing I that was the commitment I had to make to God that weekend. But
Full
that whole
throttle.
weekend.
Full throttle.
Oh,
You
listen.
locked in.
You didn't tell
King
me
pin
nothing.
status.
Listen. I was doing it. A Sherlin and a Benz.
Yeah.
I did it. I made it through the weekend.
Yeah. My question is, if once somebody came home and saw you, what happened?
Oh, it wouldn't have gone well. It would not have gone well. I'd have told him I cleaned up. I went to Trap's class. I went to Trap's class and turned a new lease on life.
Up a new
Things
leaf.
I used to do.
Yeah,
I went to a church meeting one night. My soul just wasn't right.
Hey,
God told me to give it all up.
Pick it up.
Yes. Listen, so from
love
one
it.
returning citizen to another.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we're here. Yes.
I can show you where to get a job.
Thank you, man. Me, you, and Malcolm X. We done.
Oh
we done
my
done
God.
It. I want to ask you, because you have a 32-time felon in the White House, and people who have walked your journey of 10 years, 5 years, 7, they can't get an apartment.
Man, listen. I try to stay away from politics as much as possible because people are so emotional about it. But that rubbed me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of stuff that really get under my skin.
Yeah.
That rubbed me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I knew for a fact, and people say, well, it was this, it was that. We don't have the luxury as Black men in America.
Yeah.
We don't have the luxury of justifying why something happened or not.
Wow.
We don't have the luxury to explain why. You went to jail because the yucca lost.
Yes, you're right.
Right? Yeah. I did everything right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We don't have the luxury of explaining why such and such happened. So for me, as a Black man who could not, listen, when I first moved to Atlanta, in New Orleans, it wasn't that bad. When I first moved to Atlanta in 2015, I had to sleep in my partner's basement. Because I could not get an apartment in my lane.
Wow.
When I finally got one, I had to sublease it through one of my partners.
Wow.
If not, if I had to get it in my name, I would have had to go live in the Bluff somewhere.
Yeah.
Because Leon Howard is attached to attempt murder on robbery. I couldn't, certain jobs that I cannot get.
Right.
Because of that.
Yeah.
And so what I always say is, if the president of the United States is supposed to represent the most prestigious position in the world, not just America.
That's right.
Then you're supposed to be blemish free. Because you are supposed to be the prototype for what America represents. But watch me here. When you look at Donald Trump, he is the prototype of what America represents.
Wow. Cornel West said Donald Trump is the president America deserves.
Listen, I don't look for fair here. When you look at Donald Trump, and this is not me, it's just saying when you look at it, when you take your feelings out of it and you say, okay, who is this guy? He is what America represents. He is it.
Yeah.
He is I write the rules as I go. He is I got the money. This is what we do. He is the president like that America deserves.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about it from a perspective of what's fair, you'll never get fair in America.
Yeah.
It ain't never been fair. The land, the way they acquired it, wasn't fair.
Yeah.
We can go from Chapel Hill, North Carolina to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fair. We can go to Move 9 in Philly.
Right.
What's fair?
Yeah.
The first bombs that America ever dropped was on itself. On us.
Yes.
Not in China, not in Japan.
Yeah.
The first bomb that America dropped was on Black people.
Yeah. And the second time.
So at what point do we stop saying that we want America to be fair, and when do we start saying, let me play the game, let me get some money so I can make America, like they're saying, Amistad, give us free.
Yeah. Do you think that it's fair that wealth comes with a different level of expected responsibility? What I mean by that is
I like that.
Family has a expectation from wealth that they don't from mediocrity.
Yeah. Well, what happens is when you become wealthy, the standards get raised. Poverty. So there's a thing I've realized is as I've studied finances, there's a thing called poverty, and then there's another level called deep poverty. Deep poverty is $14,000 or less income, and you would think that in America, a country now that has 5 companies worth $1 trillion or more, in a country where you have one man worth $400 billion.
Good grief.
Another man worth $200 billion. Another 2 men worth $100 billion. And about 3 men still in that. How could we ever have people in deep poverty? And I've battled with that for a minute because as a man as myself I'm new money.
Yeah.
I'm not old money.
Yeah.
My money is 5 years old. Right? It's a lot of stuff I'm still learning. But what I am seeing is that there's a different level of expectation from me.
That's right.
And when you start getting money, when you start being successful, you cannot shy away from that. And it even happens at a higher level. Whereas people I don't want to say at a lower level, but people who are striving at that lower level to change, their expectations are different because they're in survival mode.
Yeah.
When you're trying to survive, you could care less about standards and you can care less about expectations. Your only goal is, when's the next meal coming and how do I keep these lights on?
No, it's true.
Right? But for me, there's a different expectation. I'll give you a prime example is I moved my daughter and her mom out here, and I'm just using myself.
Yeah.
All right. I moved my daughter and her mom out here for 2 years. It was out for 2 years. I paid all the bills. I haven't touched my daughter mama since we made my child. My child is 9.
Yeah.
I did it because I wanted my daughter to experience life in a new way. Right? And I was willing to help. It was her mama, her oldest sister, and her youngest brother, and my daughter. So it's 4 of them.
Yeah.
I moved everybody out here, paid all the bills. They needed food or whatever. Boom. And I said, listen, however long it takes you to get yourself together, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't care who you date. I don't care about none of that. My goal is just to be with my child.
Right.
Because I'm a man who also grew up without a father. I was willing to overcompensate. You said something earlier that really I'm going to use from now on. You said, God has spoiled me.
Yeah.
God has spoiled me, man.
Yeah.
He spoiled me, man.
Yeah.
And so my expectation for my child was way different. It was, I'm going to put it in this school that's top 3 in this area. We going to Kumon, which is after school program. Yeah. We going to gymnastics. We going to soccer. We doing everything. I'm there.
Yeah.
My daughter mama get up one day. I tell her, hey, listen, I'm about to go speak at Good Soil. From that's my birthday. I'm going to go to Italy. And then she was like, nah, we going back home. I said, huh? She said, yeah, we going back home. I had nothing to say. I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
She went back home, moved back in the same neighborhood, right? I'm saying all this to say that my expectations for what I wanted, my standards for what I wanted for my child and what I was willing to do is not saying that she's a bad mother, but our expectations and our standards are different.
Yeah.
Now, it's because my exposure was different. The exposure that I had made me reevaluate the way that I looked at life.
Yes.
A lot of times, people can't raise their expectations because they haven't been exposed to new realities.
An old preacher said to me years ago, a young preacher is like a roll of film. In order to develop, they need exposure.
Come on.
So some people will never get the picture.
Yeah.
Because they don't have exposure. And the disconnect of this generation is they don't have Kodak film. They got cameras on the phone, so they don't understand the process. And her issue is she had exposure but didn't have access.
Mhm.
So she saw it through your eyes but couldn't wear your glasses.
And that's the importance of, you said something that I want to dig in it. That's the importance of darkness. You cannot truly develop. You cannot truly develop the film without the darkness.
Give me the red light. I'm ready to go right now.
You need it.
Yes.
You need it. Because you get to look at the imperfections. You get to look at the film to develop.
Yes.
You get to see that. There's processes now. We so caught up on speed. Some of those processes were vital.
Yes.
To not just the product, but to the person.
That's right.
Right?
That's
like
right.
Going in that dark room, doing those things, that helped the photographer develop.
Yes.
It sharpened their eye.
Yeah.
Now it's, let me take the picture, let me throw some filters on it, let me put it in CapCut, let me put it in Adobe. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
That process, that darkness is so vital to us evolving into the thing that we say we want. You have to change for what you say you want, or you have to change what you say you want.
The average person has 300 pictures on their phone, but don't have 3 frames in their house. Because none of the pictures they've taken do they want to keep.
Where he got that from? Where he got that from? Where he pulled that one from?
No, ain't no frames.
Ooh.
You can go to Hobby Lobby right now. They got rolls of frames.
All different shapes and sizes.
Ain't nobody buying them.
Everything
the
in
mark
the phone.
of a historic Black family. His grandma's house had a photo album.
Whew.
You had to have a photo album in the living room. This is that time we went to Virginia. This is that time we went to Florida. Now we have no pictured record of where it is that we've been as a family because nobody keeps the picture. I don't even know how we got here.
Watch this.
Watch
this.
Yes.
So now nobody knows the true identity of the family.
Well, yes. Yeah.
The one way that we understood who we were as a family was because of those pictures.
That's right.
We understood mama, we understood grandma, we understood the history, we understand who died, how they died, but what was their role in the family. But because everything is on the phone now and nobody has the photo album, we don't even know the identity of the family. So now we have no traditions other than the trauma that we are following. Because we have no exposure to, we went to Disney World in 79.
Right.
Yeah, we went to this and we went to the state fair here.
Right.
We don't got none of that.
No, it's heavy.
Oh, that's good.
It's heavy.
How we got here?
I don't know how we got
I
here.
like it though.
We in the whole, I don't even know how we got here. I'll close by saying this.
Yes, sir.
To bring the picture together
Come on.
with wealth development.
Come on.
87% of Black children don't know the names of their great-grandparents.
That's so good.
And they don't know the names of their great-grandparents, drum roll, because the great-grandparents left them nothing. What picture will you pass down to the next generation?
That's good.
So you're not fighting over a fur coat and a GoFundMe account.
That's good.
But understand that legacy is the picture we all got to develop. Yeah. Man, thank you for hanging out with me today.
Man, I appreciate this, man. This was fulfilling.
Man, this was good.
This was fulfilling.
You got to come back.
Man, whenever.
No, this was great.
Whenever.
The lesson for today, don't wear Armani to court. Thank you.
Don't wear
Thank you for watching the Jamal Bryant Podcast. Sir. Let's be clear. I need you to do me a favor. Share this podcast. Any person you know been arrested, any person you know that had a government job, any person that's lost a job, any person that's had to do co-parenting, and any person who's ever had to move back home. It's a message for everybody, and I hope you got the picture. I'll see you next time.